न jāgarti न nidrāti न unnīlati न mīlati aho परदशा kā'pi vartate muktacetasaḥ.
The man of wisdom neither keeps awake nor sleeps. He neither opens nor closes his eyes. Oh, the liberated soul anywhere enjoys the supreme state of consciousness. Keeping awake or keeping the eyes opened is keeping awake to all worldly objects, keeping the vasanas awake and seeing the world. Sleeping, closing his eyes is getting away from the objective world deliberately. A man of wisdom does not sleep and does not awake to the world of objects and perceiving them through his vasanas. All jivas are always awake to the objects that could satisfy their desires, satisfy their wants, satisfy their ego. When they are fully awake thus, they cannot be awake to experience the divine nature, pure self. Thus, they are asleep towards their real divine nature. A man of wisdom neither is awake towards the world of vasanas, nor makes deliberate efforts to keep away from the world of vasanas. We already learnt in an earlier verse, he does not seek dissolving of the universe, nor is aversive to the universe which is not getting dissolved. His keeping his eyes open or closed is from an entirely different perspective. He does not open his eyes deliberately to all the offerings by the objective world. He does not close his eyes deliberately, rejecting the offering by the objective world. In Viveka Chudamani, there is a verse commentary where Swami Chinmayananda writes, the Jivan Mukta sleeps when the world is awake and is awake when the world sleeps. In his Sahaja Sthiti, he is ever awakened to the inner self, towards which the world is totally asleep. And he is ever asleep towards the glittering objects of the world, for which the world of jivas long if they had a dozen extra eyes, that is, more active senses, to enjoy all of them. Thus, In one of the treatises, the state of a Jivan Mukta is described as with eyes half open and half shut. Half open conveys that he still is in the world. He still moves around in the world. His eyes still see the world because the physical eyes must see. Half closed means at the same time his senses are closed. His mind is closed. His vasanas are closed. So, even being half open eyes, nothing is carried inside, which was described in the previous verse as his gaze has become vacant. The liberated sage always, anywhere, everywhere enjoys the supreme state of consciousness. This expression anywhere could also be interpreted as in all the three states of consciousness. In the jāgarti state, with eyes open, with swapna state, where eyes are closed but the mind may be active, and shushupti, when everything is asleep and inactive. Even when the BMI is totally inactive in the deep sleep state, still he exists in and as supreme consciousness. The Kaivalya state in his waking and dream state gets naturally carried forward to his deep sleep state. The aloneness of pure awareness state Kaivalya is never lost for a second. It exists anywhere, everywhere, in all times. Always. Let us see the commentary, if there is anything else. He never winks. Winking is the physical expression of one's mental and intellectual restlessness. Animals do not wink. Intelligent man alone winks. That the master has not any mental agitation is all that is meant when sage Ashtavakra characterizes a liberated man who never winks. In spite of all these hints, the state of a man of wisdom cannot be intelligible to us. He is unique. He is understood only by another sage. He is totally dead to the relative world of plurality, and yet cannot be considered as sleeping, as he is ever awake to the joyous state of the blissful self. Hari Om Tat Sat.